We're all looking at the same thing. Thank you for joining us for another perspective from the Sag Nasty If Anybody Asks Me podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment. For more videos, please subscribe to the channel. Or don't. Just sit back, say nothing, do nothing, and watch as we bare our souls to you. We got it from here. Sag Nasty.
They look great. I mean,
Yeah.
jump off and catch, and you're just big hands and fast, and just, these guys, some of these guys that don't know how to recruit, they get caught up in that shit.
And then what happened?
Just, that's how it was. Like, at practices, like I said, in my Hall of Fame speech, I say, it could be a Tuesday in the beginning of the season, and we're cramping and throwing up because we're competing against each other so hard.
And
And
so
then
that,
not only are we trying to
that
beat
went
each other,
further than I realized. I guess like that was no
and then-
joke.
and then not only that, but then we knew that we had to compete, because if we weren't at our best and working, we knew those guys on the other schools were working just as hard. So we knew.
I didn't know how hard they were working. I just didn't want to, like you said, it was just only competition. It's like, especially when track, like we're just running.
You know what? Brian Pruitt came in and talked, I want to say, to our health class, I think our sophomore year, Mr. Quinn's health class. And I remember, obviously, Terrence Roberson was the first guy I remember looking at and going, holy shit. Like,
I can imagine.
this
Right.
guy's amazing.
Yeah, right.
I heard about Pruitt, but I didn't know him.
I just knew
And
his
then he
times
came-
and stuff. Yeah.
And then he came in, and I thought it was so cool.
Wow.
And he said, he goes, you know what, guys? He goes, and he had a lot of good stuff to say, but one of the things he said, he said, the reason I worked so hard was because, I'd get up and I'd go, you know what? I'm working harder than the guys I'm around right now, right? I'm getting up and doing, I'm working the hardest at my school. But he goes, I know those other guys. No, I don't know what those other guys are doing, but I'm going to assume that they're out right now competing to beat me. So I'm definitely not going to let them have a day advantage of me. So I'm going to go out today on a simple fact of they're out working today. So I'm not going to let them outwork me today. I'm going to go out and bust my ass today, because you can't stay the same. And I'm not getting the quote completely right, but
I get it, though.
that's what I used to think was, what's Rogers doing today?
Wow.
What's Jeremiah McLaurin doing today? What's Matt Miller doing? What's, the guys from Midland High doing? Like, are they taking a day off?
I wasn't thinking like that at all. And that's probably the separation. I super wasn't thinking like that. That's the separation, I bet. But I think in football, it was so hard.
I learned it was this, like, and kids can get caught up in I'm the best player at my school. And it's like, dude, you know how many schools?
Yeah, see, like I want to know how you see beyond that, because no one's showing me how to see that beyond that.
Going to Michigan camp and seeing, like,
and so that's what I'm saying. And then how do you get to Michigan camp? Because that's what you need to do. Once you get there, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Once you get to Michigan camp and you run your 40, because we're all going to run a good 40. We're all going to play well in whatever we do.
Well, no,
in that environment.
It was by chance.
No, but I mean, once we get to chance,
there was a spot open.
Yeah,
right?
But once we get to chance, like, we're going to perform well if we get that chance because of the base.
Looking back, I don't know if we really knew the magnitude of those moments, though.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Like,
exactly what I'm saying. That's huge.
Think about that and being able to compete.
You went into a national championship coach right after still having to sweat on the 40 through that opportunity. And that's what I'm trying to say.
I don't do that. Now, does Michigan come around? Maybe, but
they do, but they don't know who you are really in that way. They don't understand your potential. They think that Mike Strong's better than you. That's what I'm trying to say. So
or again, hey, Stu, good football player, tough guy, smart guy, good.
That's what I'm trying to say. They don't know. Yeah,
you can trust him, but not
Mike
that fast,
Strong.
not that athletic.
Yeah, not that fast, not that athletic, stuff like this. And so getting to Michigan camp, taking advantage of the opportunity is the key. Because maybe we'll never understand the philosophy of it, but we do know that we're prepared because, like you said, we're competing all the time. So we're definitely prepared. It's just that getting into that room.
We capitalized
right
on those moments. I always performed well at
of
those.
Course.
Things.
Yes.
And I think it came down to the presidential physical fitness and us just wanting, Briante and trying to challenge these guys and have the most pull-ups and have the fastest shuttle and have the fastest mile and have the fastest or the highest broad jump or the stretch or whatever it was.
Yeah.
We were always in competition, and there wasn't a thought of, am I going to mess this up? We always thought positive.
No, yeah, I definitely didn't think like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said with the 40, it always blew my mind is like, it's like 10 yards. It's like, this is a 40. I'm not supposed to beat people by 10 yards. Like when I ran the 400 the first time, I was like, where's everyone at? Like, why am I alone at the finish line? They're like, whoa. And they're like,
that's the thing. Like the 40, there's no room. Like you don't
usually beat people that much. Yeah, exactly.
But again, there's no room for error. In the 100, you can still make up for the 200,
especially lower
whatever,
level.
right?
Yeah.
Like the 40, like, dude, it's shit. Before you know it, the fucking thing's over with, and it's like that was it. Yeah, that was my one chance to, just like the NFL Combine.
Less than 5 seconds, and that's the impact that you can have to change your whole trajectory of your life.
The amount of emphasis that goes into that, there is absolutely no correlation between and a good football player.
No, well, I've never seen anyone with a good. You probably know better than me. I've never seen someone with a good 40 who wasn't good. How about that?
Tons.
Okay, so there's tons. Okay,
there are tons of guys that look great, Daryl. They run it. They say playing in your underwear. Running, catching balls. Out there on a workout.
Yeah.
They're at their own university with their own strength coach, and they're running. They're tall, just fucking. We used to have this saying, look like Tarzan, hit like Jane. Like some of these guys, they look great. I mean, jump up and catch, and you're just big hands and fast, and just, these guys, some of these guys that don't know how to recruit, they get caught up in that shit.
And then what happens to that person then? Like they did perform well. Why aren't they good? Mentality?
Well, they performed well at a tryout at a combine.
Yeah.
You train for that combine just for that combine. After that, you don't do any of that shit ever again. You are just preparing and competing to beat the combine.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with football.
Yeah, nothing. But say like the guy who runs a great 40 there at the combine, why isn't he good overall later?
Because there's so much that goes into it.
Beyond just that.
Like,
right. Okay.
How many factors go into making a good football player, and how many things that, the preparation, the study, the mental capacity, the toughness, the stamina, the after treatment, taking care of your body. Just there's so much shit that goes into it. Just because you're fast doesn't mean anything. I mean, because again, some guys, I remember my first mini camp, and now we're getting into the pros, and I don't want to go there yet, but first mini camp after the draft, I'm sizing guys up going, okay, who are the baddest like, who are the guys I got to fucking take out in there? Who are the ones I need to make my mark by beating?
Okay.
And you see some of these guys, and they're in there talking about Rook, this, and they're fucking just huge and just, and all of a sudden you go out there and they just disappear. They're just
where do they go?
They're just nowhere. Or guys look great again in just helmets. And all of a sudden pads get on and dudes just disappear. Then there's those other guys where you're looking and you're going, hold on, that's you? Like
Yeah,
You're
they were like way smaller than you could ever imagine. Yeah,
you're not ripped. You're not that fast.
Yeah,
you really don't look like you're a great football player.
Most of the football players that I know that are good are like that, usually.
Now, there are those guys, the 1%er of the 1%ers of the 1%ers that they kill the combine and they kill it in the NFL, and no matter what situation they'd be involved in, they'd be a Hall of Famer. But you got to like the percentage, and we'll stop on the NFL thing because we can go into that later on. But I mean, but again, going back, I was already exposed to this shit back in 4th and 5th grade, playing First Ward Community Center, in 6th grade playing Ricker. You know what I mean? Going to the Midland basketball tournaments and going to the Gus Mackers and playing in Lansing and getting our ass kicked and, knowing what it takes and having that chip on your shoulder, proving that, you know what, I can be better than everybody else.
I guess